I'm Laura,
And I'm Mariah,
and we're here at Beyond the Front Door.
where we're going to talk about what home means and how to get there.
Yeah. So, what do we want to talk about first? This is our very first podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
We're so excited, and
this first episode, we're going to talk about what are the big things when it comes to moving, and what are some of the mistakes that you might make.
Yep, and just kind of an overview, and also about Denton, because we both love Denton and we love being here. So
yeah, what it's like to live here.
Yeah. So why do people move to Denton? There are a lot of people that do move to Denton, and there's a huge variety of reasons that we've both seen. So
yeah. I think a lot of people, because there's the bridge across Lake Louisville, so there's a lot of people that live in Louisville and Flower Mound and all of that, and the housing prices, the difference between housing prices and what you can get in Louisville as opposed to what you can get in Denton, it's a big thing. So there's a difference in that. So what you can get on this side of the lake, you can get a much nicer house. I mean, that's why I moved to Denton.
Yeah, no kidding.
Years ago, that's why I moved to Denton, because it was the houses that we could get up here were way nicer than what we could get in Louisville.
Yeah, for sure, and it's not much further.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes you get some traffic over the bridge, but
since they put in the toll lane or whatever to go across the bridge and everything, it's been way better. And now we've also got $24.99 coming down.
Yep.
So that's not like that. That's the only way to get south.
Right. Yeah. Because that could get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then
not to say it's never bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I have to drive down there every day.
Hey.
My son goes to school in Louisville. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's better than 380. So we can all agree on that. So I see a lot of people moving to Denton for the culture and the fun activities, Arts and Jazz Fest. There's the square to walk around in. There's just a lot of stuff to do in Denton that you don't see in Flower Mound or Louisville or Frisco. There's stuff to do there, but it seems more organic in Denton. And so when I go to an event in Dallas, for instance, I always feel a little underdressed, and I'm more of a casual, I used to be kind of a hippie punk rocker. And so it's kind of nice to be able to go and have fun outdoors and not feel like you have to wear high heels,
Yeah. Denton is definitely a lot more casual than Dallas. And now we're the Halloween capital of Texas.
Yeah, there's some really exciting events coming up too.
Yeah.
So.
Every day in October is a new event.
Yeah.
And getting ready for the coffin races and all of that stuff too. So
yeah, I love the Day of the Dead festival that they put on. At first everyone didn't know how it would go over, and hoping people would show up, and people showed up like crazy. So
I heard just last night actually that the waiting list to be a sponsor for one of the coffins is 2 years long.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is that popular. People love it.
Yeah. And Wally on our team, he enters it every year.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
He makes a coffin and everything?
Yeah, he's one of the pushers.
Oh,
so
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then also, if you go to the Denton Collab, they've got a mini Denton all set up that a lot of people, and the Scary Cherry Orchard, in memoriam of the cherry orchard over on Churchill. So there's just a lot of really fun stuff to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of art in Denton. I think people really like that. You have the whole arts district in Dallas, and I don't think what we have in Denton is quite to that hoity-toity level.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
But
right?
So. But there's a lot of spots with really cool graffiti and murals and all that kind of stuff too. So
and music as well. There's a lot of really good music too.
Yeah, we have several music festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so, Denton has been growing a lot lately too. And I feel like a lot of people are coming up here for the price, and also our schools are pretty good too in Denton. And the school ratings are just as good, if not better, than the immediate surrounding areas. So a lot of people who can't afford the Argyle and the Keller, top rated schools, they end up moving to Denton because it's a good balance.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really good websites you can do your own research about on that too.
Yeah. And we also have a charter school. There's several campuses here. Responsive Ed is the I guess overall company. But my kids have been with responsive ed. My
Awesome.
older son has been his entire, from kindergarten. He's graduating this year. My younger son decided he wanted to do sports. So that's the thing with the charter schools, that they have sports, but it's not as competitive because it's just a smaller school. So he switched to Lake Dallas, which is another great thing about Denton. In the school district, it's an open district. So you can apply for your kids to go to a different school if you're not zoned for that school. So we're zoned for Ryan for high school, and he's a freshman this year, but he's going to Lake Dallas.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some of that, but I didn't know exactly how that worked, because I know a lot of people that have gotten on the waiting list to go to some of the schools here in Denton, the elementary schools. So
it's a pretty easy process, and you have to have a good student. So he's straight A student. He hasn't gotten any trouble so far, knock on wood. So plus Lake Dallas is a little bit smaller, so I think it'd probably be harder to get into Guyer or something like that as far as the high schools go. Yeah, but yeah, I mean he's been going to Lake Dallas since 7th grade. Yeah, and now he's a freshman. So yeah,
cool. And we also have a lot of jobs here in Denton as well, and not just universities, but Peterbilt. Sally Beauty was a big one. I think they just had a big layoff lately.
Didn't they move their corporate office?
Yeah. And then up north, there's the Walmart distribution center. There's a lot of warehouse type jobs around the Denton area, and growing too.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of commerce and everything here.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had people move to Denton where they commute up to Gainesville to PPG Paints, and they have a base up there. And so it's kind of a good central area because you've got 35E and 35W coming out of it. And so you can either go to Dallas or Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know lots of people that, live here and then commute, within a 30-minute radius, which I think is kind of what most people, that's the max that you want to drive to work every day.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of business within 30 minutes. I mean, my partner, Derek, he works in Addison. So 30, 40 minutes is his drive every day. From here, all the way to it's Beltline and Quorum is where his office is.
And thanks for that express lane.
Yeah. So it's not bad at all.
Yeah, for sure. And as an adult, for the family, for the college, a lot of people think it's just a college town, but during the summertime they do Twilight Tunes out on the courthouse lawn. And they get a variety of musicians to come in and do those, which are pretty cool, from the whole DFW area, not just Denton, mostly Denton, but not just Denton.
And they are doing a Twilight Tunes. It's not on the square. I forget what park it's at, but you can look that up. But they are doing Twilight Tunes in October now for the whole Halloween thing. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and then there's tons of bars and really cool bars. We don't have your chain. We have a lot of
yeah, you don't have to go to Applebee's.
Individual, locally owned venues and stuff like that. And it's really great. So at East Side, they've got a big movie screen now. So they're doing movies, and older movies, but for Halloween, they're doing Hocus Pocus and
I saw that,
stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. And they've got this huge patio out back, and it's packed. Yeah. So it's fun to go there, and they have all the food trucks too, so you can make a whole night of it.
And the bars here are pretty family friendly as well too. So
yep, for sure. I mean,
they encourage that.
Yeah,
so.
I see, and I think at a certain time the kids have to go home, but during the day and stuff like that, I see people all the time with their kids bringing them to the food trucks and watching the movies and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and it's not just college kids that are there. There's a wide variety.
Yeah, for sure. So Denton has a much lower cost of living than a lot of areas in the Metroplex. And that's like you were saying earlier, the home prices here are generally, you can get more for your money in Denton. And then for people where Denton is still just a little bit too high, we've helped a lot of people, first-time home buyers, move to the Sanger Crum area as well. And there's really good new construction neighborhoods. There's older neighborhoods. There's a huge variety of areas that you can move into where so in Denton, so for $350,000, you think that's a pretty good entry level? You can get a pretty nice house for $350,000, especially in this market too. Yeah, it might even be more $300,000. You could get actually a really nice house. Yeah, that's been kind of redone, looks good, in a good location, like conveniency and everything.
Yeah. I've got a couple of clients right now that are kind of looking in the 3 to 350 price range, and there's some really nice houses, especially right now. I feel like it's come down, even in just the last 6 months. So some really cool houses.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we won't get too much into the market right now, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, there are some really good deals out there right now. And then, so for entry level in the Dallas area, Dallas proper, it's more around probably like 4 to 5.
4 to 5, yeah.
Yeah, to get in like a neighborhood that that is one of the the hipper areas to live.
Yeah, and you're looking at a much older home, much smaller home for that price too.
Yeah, maybe not as updated.
Yeah.
And then when you go up to the Sanger Crum area, you can get stuff under 300.
Yeah.
Like 250, 275.
And I've lived in Denton for a long time, but I've never, not never, but I hadn't really been out to the Crum area. And then a friend wanted to meet me at a venue that they have out there. And I looked it up and I was like, it's only 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I live in South Denton. So I was really surprised when I actually plotted it out, because it seems like it's so far out there, but it's really not.
Yeah, because then how long does it take you to get from South Denton to downtown Denton? Probably about the same time.
15 minutes, yeah.
So that's the joke, is it takes so long to get just across Denton sometimes, with all the construction and all the crazy roads and everything. So
yeah.
So, and then as far as average rent prices, Denton stayed pretty stable. We're a college town, and so honestly, you could probably find something a little bit lower price and better quality outside of Denton. But we've also helped plenty of people find great stuff here in Denton as well.
Yeah.
So
and
you just have to be a little bit more proactive in looking and knowing which property management companies do a good job and which ones honestly don't. So
honestly don't.
And we know those things.
We do. I know the ones that are easier to work with and the ones that take care of their tenants and stuff like that.
You get your deposit back, and we try and make sure to let you know when you want to see something that's that might be a little bit more riskier.
Yeah.
From our experience. So
yeah, because you definitely want, if it's a property management company especially, you want somebody who's going to be responsive. Like if you need some kind of work done, that they're not going to charge you crazy fees. Yeah. That they're going to, be fair about returning your deposit when it's done and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
One time I had a landlord charge me $15 or $20 to change a light bulb. I was like, really?
That's not.
I didn't even know it was out, and I'm like, right? Well, next time I'll make sure all the light bulbs are working before I move out. Right. But yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of property management, so
oh yeah, that you used to actually do that.
Yeah. I did leasing for a while, so I was, before I had kids, was an assistant manager at an apartment complex, and had done leasing and all that for several years. Yeah, and then when I got back into real estate more recently, I worked for a team that did property management, so I've done it all.
Yeah, and I rented all through my college life here in Denton, for all 10 years of my college life. I don't know if it was I was on the 8-year plan. Yeah. So and I just watched so many of my friends get just screwed over. Yeah. And so it's kind of been a passion of mine to make sure that, because a lot of realtors won't even call you back if you're a tenant. I mean, I've had people come to me and say, hey, I can't even get a realtor to call me back, and I'm asking to see one of their listings for rent, but I can book the appointment and get us in right away. Just because a lot of people, I mean, quite frankly, realtors don't make as much money off a rental as they do when they're selling a house or helping someone buy a home. But that doesn't mean that they don't need our services. Yeah. And so it's always been a passion of mine, just because I've watched so many people just get no callbacks or just get screwed over.
Help. Yeah.
No help. Yeah. And honestly, leasing, there's more paperwork with leasing than there is in buying a house sometimes. So yeah, and there's more to watch out for too. So
yeah, I always tell people, let me help you, please, because like even my Derek's son was just recently looking for a rental and everything, and he couldn't get the people to respond to him. Yeah. But because I was a realtor, when I contacted them, they responded. Right. So it's like you kind of almost have a little bit of extra pool because we have that license and everything. So
yeah. And when we get a lease listing, I mean, I'll tell you, if it's priced well, we'll get 15 to 20 contacts per day. And that is hard for a realtor to keep up with, especially if they have, listings and buyers that they're working with. Yeah. But yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we work on a team, is so that we have people that can help us with that.
Yeah.
So, so we'd really just try and give the best service to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether they're buying or renting.
Yeah. So, what are some pros and cons of old homes versus new homes? Denton has a lot of both, right?
Yeah, old homes. I mean, I love the character of some of the homes that we have here in Denton.
Yeah.
Like we've got some really just cute, like, like everybody, like that's the word that you use is character, but
Yeah.
it's a unique layout, it's a unique facade, it's usually in like a cool spot, maybe with a little bit of bigger piece of land and stuff like that. So those things I love. Like I love going to older homes and doing home tours and stuff like that. Like I have a friend,
the little crystal doorknobs,
yeah,
the original hardwood floors, not the tile countertops.
yeah. Yeah, I have a friend that will go with me over, if I'm like going through looking at houses and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, that one looks really cool, and as long as it's vacant, like I'll just go look at it because it's fun.
Yeah, I do like the older homes better for sure. For a lot of those reasons, you get the cool trees, and you get kind of like a more established neighborhood.
Southridge is one of my favorite neighborhoods. I love going through that. I love those houses over there because they are bigger lots and stuff like that, and you have all the trees, and you've got that circular drive and everything. It's really cool.
I used to deliver a pizza, and when it was before maps were on our phones, really. So I would have to look at the map, and I'm like, okay, the third ridge crest to the right. And then I would get so lost in trying to get back. I'm like, I just want to get out of here.
Let me out.
But that's kind of good because it cuts down on like through traffic.
Yeah.
Now I know that area a lot better.
Yeah.
But it was just because, especially, I mean, Google Maps is my best friend.
Yeah. Me too.
Even if I'm just driving like 2 streets away, I always use Google Maps. So.
Yeah. I kind of laugh at myself because even when I'm using GPS, sometimes I still get lost. I have to turn around. Like, oh, I missed the turn.
Yeah.
But on the downside of an older home, you have to think about things like the major systems. So a lot of older homes still have cast iron plumbing.
And we're seeing that when we first got into real estate, it's like the cast iron would test out fine. And it's like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It'll last another good while. But I mean, when we're doing inspections, I'm seeing a lot where they're failing.
Yeah.
They've got roots in them or actually breaking and everything.
Yeah. So like I've got a client that's under contract right now, and he's buying an older home, but they've already replaced all of the plumbing underneath. So It's all PVC now. And I was like, yes, if you love this house, yes.
Yeah, because how much is it to replumb a house? Like I had one in Dallas. It was a bigger home, but it was $60,000, including the sewer line out to the street. And I mean, luckily this home was valued at almost $700,000, so we had enough wiggle room in there because it had. I think they stopped counting at 15 leaks. So so that was kind of a deal breaker for the buyer, and the seller was like, "Well, I guess we got to do it," And I mean, it's such a challenge with the plumbing, but we use really good inspector companies. They offer the sewer scope, the camera, which we highly recommend, even on PVC. I found I think it was over $2,000 worth of damage on a PVC line. We found like 2 leaks, and then we asked for it to all be fixed, and it ended up they found like 2 or 3 more. On PVC.
On that same house that had everything replaced, like it was pretty much all brand new. The inspector went to do the camera down the line and everything, and it was clogged. Yeah. So somehow, because it was completely remodeled, so somehow in that process of remodeling it, they got stuff into the lines, and they had to go through and pull it all out. So it's like, even though it's all been replaced,
new construction, we see that honestly, where the contractors will just, dump paint down the drain, not even think about it.
They put in a new air conditioner in the system, and for some reason it kept on shutting off. Somebody had taken the instruction manual for the air conditioner and put it in the air because it was gas. So they put it in the vent.
Oh my god!
They had just stuffed it up there, and so like it kept on shutting off because it was like overheating and couldn't get enough air and stuff like that. So like the AC guy came in and he was like, "Here you go, here's your culprit."
Wow. Yeah. I mean, just think. I mean, that the heating unit could have come on and it could have just burned up the instruction booklet.
Caught on fire. Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. So like inspectors worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And so that's just plumbing. We haven't even touched on the other stuff. Yeah,
like electrical in older homes too. Like I mean, it's if you have to go through like all of the walls and replace all the wiring and stuff like that, that's going to be almost as much of an expense as the plumbing, because that's all the sheetrock and everything and all that kind of stuff.
And actually in Denton, we don't see much aluminum wiring. I've seen aluminum wiring once in my career, and that was in a house in North Richland Hills, and it had to be rewired, and it was $10,000.
Yeah.
But also that was before COVID, and prices have gone up, way up since then. And that wasn't a big house. So we see ungrounded outlets, which, we can't, a seller's not obligated to bring a home up to code. I've lived in homes with ungrounded outlets and been totally fine. But some buyers, that's super important to them for the outlets to be grounded, so they can plug in their computer or their TV and everything and not have to worry about it. So it's just a lot of things with older homes. And, when you do a home buying consultation with one of us, we go over a lot of this. Like, what are your goals? What do you like? You like older homes? Okay, well, just to let you know, the inspection report's probably going to be 60 to 80 pages long.
Not kidding.
And most of that stuff on there is just, it was fine when the house was built. So, and foundation, honestly, I like pier and beam foundations better than slab foundations personally.
They're easier to have the foundation adjusted if that's needed. And we live in Texas.
And to do plumbing too.
Yeah.
And
in Texas, if your foundation hasn't moved, it's going to.
Even if you water it, even if it's a brand new home, you're going to see a hairline crack or two somewhere.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the pier and beam homes, they're made to move around.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, we used to go to this party house, and it was called the Leaning House on Oak Street. It's no longer there, but it was literally you'd be standing there, and it's like this, like in the room, And now I'm a realtor. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. No wonder. So
my inner ear, I think, is very sensitive, because when I walk into homes and they have like uneven floors, I can feel it immediately. And I've walked in some that have almost made me like dizzy. Because it's so
like
bad.
House, Well, and that's the thing too. In a pier and beam house, if you walk in and it's a little like slanted, you feel it. It's not as big of a deal. Whereas slab, I've walked into some where it's like, whoop, and you're like, oh, this is 20, 30 grand of foundation work probably.
And when you have a slab, you can only like lift it so much.
Right.
Like
it's more about stabilizing.
And
you're stuck with it.
Because I mean, they even say that all the foundation, like, disclaimers or whatever, it's like, we're going to do the best we can, but I don't, it's hard to get it back to zero.
Right. I've only seen a couple of homes that were really bad with slab. One of them, they contacted me to sell the house, and they were like, it was a really cute house and everything was fine in it. And they were like, so, and I forget what we sold it for. Like, it was under 300,000. It was, probably about 10 years back. And they were like, so we've had foundation work done. It's like, okay, cool. Most people have. And he's like, and we had to replace the whole roof beam because the foundation twisted the roof beam.
Oh my gosh.
And so, so they had to replace the whole roof beam. And those poor people spent, I think, at least $20,000 or $30,000 with the whole roof situation and the foundation, and they didn't get their money back. So that's also, we know what neighborhoods are prone to needing foundation work, and what age of homes is like 1980s are kind of hit or miss. If it's a custom home, you're probably fine, but if it's one of the tract homes, it's like, no, we really need to get somebody out here to look at everything. So
I showed a house yesterday actually that had the foundation work already done, but they had put like the receipt for the payment and everything in there. It spent $17,000 on their foundation repairs. And then another $8,000 because repairing the foundation messed up the plumbing.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a common thing too. So with a pier and beam, I've had somebody pay, I think $14,000 or $15,000 to have the whole house leveled with concrete piers put in, and, that'll do a corner or a side of a house that's slab. And so that's one thing, that's what we say, where it's a little bit cheaper to do.
Yeah. Because it's just easier for them to access.
Exactly.
When it's slab, especially when there's plumbing issues on slab, you have to go through the slab.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to go through the floor and replace the floor.
Yeah.
So it
then
it
gets, it's cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
The bill just keeps on going up.
Yeah.
So like those are the things, like plumbing, foundation, electrical, and then all of the major appliances, like the air conditioner, the water heater, like all of those are reaching the end of their lifetime too. So those are always like, and nowadays, like AC, I had to replace one of my air conditioners recently. It was like $8,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of sellers that are financing their AC replacements, and so that has to be paid off at closing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we financed ours.
Yeah, because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just put it on a credit card anymore, or, use your savings, because that's a huge chunk out of it. So
yeah, it's crazy how much. And I got several bids. Always want to do, but like one of them was over 10 grand.
Wow.
To replace our air conditioner, and it's just
not surprising.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that costs that much these days.
So yeah, newer homes, I would say probably 1990s and newer, you don't see as much of the electrical and plumbing problems, and foundation and everything. And then the new homes, if you buy a brand new home from a builder, you get a 10-year structural warranty, a 2-year warranty on the main systems and like your plumbing and electrical, and then you get a 1-year just everything warranty.
Yeah,
so
that varies a little bit by builder and stuff like that. Some have more, some have less, or whatever.
Yeah, what they cover and everything.
Like when I bought one house ago, and but that was the reason why, because I was a single mom, and I didn't want to have to worry about all the maintenance of a house. I wanted to be able to just be like, what if anything went wrong? It's a brand new house. It shouldn't.
Right.
But if anything did, I could just call somebody up and be like, come fix it. And not have to worry about the cost of it.
Yeah, we bought new because our price point, what we were looking at in our price point, were all fixer-uppers. And it was like, well, by the time you buy it, it's the same payment as a brand new home that's, $30,000 more, that has everything pristine and done. So it's like, well, let's just buy the new one then.
Yeah. So that comes down to, like, especially again right now in the market, like you're seeing that a lot, where a brand new home, you're probably giving a little bit on location and stuff like that.
Yeah. And character, but
you can
paint,
lot size,
you can
and
do
stuff
stuff
like that.
with it. Yeah.
But like when you're looking at it, it's just kind of like, what do you really want? Do you want the brand new house where you don't have to worry about everything, while all your appliances are brand new and all that kind of stuff, or do you want the house with more character, that's maybe a little bit older, that maybe, has more land, you got a bigger yard and more space and bigger trees.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's important to you and what do you want?
Yeah. And I find, I wouldn't necessarily say, buyer's remorse, but I've had first-time home buyers come back to me and they say, wow, you were right. The older homes are a lot more work. We had to spend $20,000 on plumbing. We had to spend, it cost so much just to repaint the house, the exterior of it.
Yeah.
There's just, it's more than, and you still have just the same or even a higher payment because of the incentives of new construction. And for some people that is totally worth it because of the character and the location, the friends, you have friends living around you and everything. But yeah, for first-time home buyers, especially if it's your first home, a brand new home is a great option, or a newer home is a great option too. So,
and that's not to say that like every older house is going to have all kinds of issues. I've had people move into older homes and had nothing go wrong.
Yes.
So I don't want to just
thanks to our inspector and our repair negotiations, right? So
you find out beforehand if you're going to have all those issues.
Yeah, and I found that the longer I'm a realtor, like the more I can walk into a home and go, this home, red flag, or this home feels good. It has a good feel to it. Feels solid.
I think there are things that like, kind of subconscious things that we cue in on and stuff like that. Cause I can tell when a home is well taken care of. I can tell when the people, like when they've changed their AC filters more than like once a year, when it's cleaner and there's not like things in the corners and stuff like that. Like, or
they've done a lot of the maintenance. They've done the electrical work, the owners themselves. So.
Sometimes you can't always tell that, but a lot of times you can. And it's like when you see those things where they didn't take care of like just the surface level stuff, that you're like, they probably didn't take care of the actual like maintenance that really matters.
Right. Same thing with flippers too. Yeah. Because when you go in and you see like the baseboards are just the cheap pine that are painted on and they're not really cut right, they're uneven. You're like, what else have they done? Yeah. And if your buyer really loves the home, I'm always like, well, do you see that? We just want to make sure to do a thorough inspection on this home. Yeah. And I've honestly found most investors are really open to repairs. Yeah. So because they want to sell the house and they have a buyer ready, willing, and able to buy. And they maybe didn't even realize that something like that house that you were talking about, they didn't realize there was a clog in the plumbing. Yeah. Because nobody ever lived there. Right. So.
Well, and that was a complete remodel too. And one of the things, like when we walked into that house was like, they paid attention to the small details. So like there was a trim on the edge of the tile in the kitchen, which I rarely see that. So I was like, you know, there was all kinds of little things like that. It was like, okay, this guy pays attention to details. This construction company is actually doing a good job, and they actually care about their end product and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, and past inspection with flying colors. I mean, there were things like that, but they took care of that. No questions asked. Like as soon as I didn't even send him the repair request. I just called him because I was like, this is something that you're going to have to take care of no matter what. So I just called him as soon as the inspection was over, and he was like, really? Oh my gosh. And it was like fixed the next day. So
I love it when sellers do that, because then you can tell that they're very proactive on previous things too. So
and it's for him, I think it's kind of like a pride of not ownership, but you know, like he's proud of the quality of what he produces.
It's his integrity on the line.
And I'm like, that to me was like, yes, this is a good one.
So we're kind of going to wrap it up there. I mean, we've talked a lot about a lot of different things, right? So, and that's just kind of what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be just about us talking, and we're both very experienced realtors. And if you have questions, you know, put them as a comment below, and we're happy to answer them too. Give you our thoughts on things.
We want to kind of make it a little bit of a diverse podcast. So we're not always talking real estate. We wanted to talk about real estate on this first one. But, you know, we plan on, you know, maybe going and checking out local Denton hotspots, coffee shops and stuff like that, and taking you guys to maybe some of the cool older homes that we talked about, and, you know, talking about mindset and that kind of stuff too. So we hope you will join us on this journey as we get further into it. We'd love for you to like and subscribe. And I think that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.